You know, certain kind of antiques, they can give you the heebie-jeebies. Another video game that I wrapped up a little while ago, Strange Antiquities. Now, if you saw my review for Strange Horticulture, which I like quite a bit, this is the follow-up to that. And it is, as far as the format is concerned, effectively the same game. It is the same core thing where you are manning this antique shop in this sort of Victorian kind of gothic-y kind of setting, and you are an assistant, so you don't know what this stuff is, and unfortunately, none of it's labeled. And so people show up saying that they need certain things, and maybe they know what it's called, or maybe they only know the effect that they want. And so you have to use what you do know. So you have, a book with some information on some stuff, but you'll get new pages with new information later. But there's stuff in the antique store. So, like, I'm looking for this. Okay, so I got to figure out which of these items is that. And like I said, basic construction is the same as Strange Horticulture, which did the same thing, but like with plants. But this is, especially as it goes on, is a lot more complicated, has a lot more layers to it. Strange Horticulture, at least to my memory, for the vast majority of it, it basically came down to looking at the plant and reading the descriptions and just going from there. And this has a lot more going on. Because, yes, you can look at the thing, you can read the description in the book, but you can do more than just look at it. You can touch it, and it will tell you what materials it is made out of, whether it is hot or cold, whether or not you are getting kind of a psychic impression off of it. Later on, there's stuff with like aura fields that certain kinds of things have. Different aura fields meaning completely different things. And so like one of the indicators in the book is this particular thing has these traits. I'm like, I've got like 5 things that could be. Is like, and it also has a druidic field. So you have to know how to check for that and what it looks like. So that's what I mean by there's more layers and it's more complicated. Additionally, because there's a limited kind of exploration element, and this was true of Strange Horticulture as well. But whereas Strange Horticulture, you're basically just going to a couple locations on the map. This one has like 3, I think it's 3 or 4 maps, because there's the town map, there's the crypt map, and then there's the map of this specific mansion. And so that's what I mean, again, by layers. Is it doing the same thing? Yes, but it has compounded it multiple times. So the deductive reasoning involved gets a bit more complicated because there's more factors in it. I'm not going to go so far as to say this is like Strange Horticulture on hard mode. It's not. Being more complicated doesn't necessarily make it harder. Well, it might, depending on how your brain works. For me, I didn't find it particularly harder than Strange Horticulture. There are more things to check and compare. That's definitely true. There's sort of more things to account for, but in terms of the actual deductive reasoning, it's very much the same kind of thing. And sometimes, unless you've really caught on to every single detail, sometimes you'll have to make an educated guess. And sometimes you'll be wrong. But as all this goes on, there is, as with Strange Horticulture, a certain, sort of story going on in the background as there's things going on in the town, and people, and you'll have a couple of branching points where people who are like, "Look, I need something that will do this for me," and they're like, tell you what their goal is, and the game will give you a couple of options of what to give them. And if you look specifically at what these items are, like, okay, these will kind of get a similar end effect, but like they work so vastly differently, they are going to impact this person in a different way. So they're, or like you can just flat out, and sometimes you are given the option, like, I can give them this thing that will accomplish what they want to do, but what they want to do is horrible. So I can also give them this thing that'll basically turn it back on them. So you'll have a couple of branching points for the story for stuff like that. And the story is there. It's not the most detailed thing because a lot of the characters, I mean, like, it's basically just somebody who is telling you a little bit about themselves and then asking you for a thing. And it's just this, like, kind of portrait image of them. So it's not the liveliest group in the world. The narrative, I am glad the narrative is there. I don't want to act like the narrative is throwaway and doesn't matter. It does. It adds to the atmosphere and it fits the mood and tone of the rest of the game. That having been said, what you are here is for that feeling you get at correctly deducing what something is. Because once you get that confirmation, it just feels real good. Especially like when you find yourself catching a little detail, like, I can't figure, wait a minute, if it's this, that means that, it's that. And then you offer it up and the game's like, yes, that is in fact that thing. And I'm like, yeah. It just feels real good. That is the high that you are chasing with a game like this. That is what you are here for. And yeah, I am in fact here for that. And I do like that. And I do think the game and the characters do add to the mood and the tone of the thing. Also, there's a cat again. Cat with heterochromia. Jupiter? I think Jupiter was the cat in this. I hope I'm not confusing it with the cat that was in Strange Horticulture. But yeah, Jupiter's a good cat. Good kitty. Something that boggles my mind, though, there's an achievement for like petting the cat so many times I forget what it is, but only like 30% of people have this achievement. I'm like, how is that not 100% achievement? Like, hearing the cat purr when you pet the cat is amazing. Like, how do only like a third of players have that achievement? Whatever. But yeah, if you liked Strange Horticulture, or if you like those kinds of deductive puzzles where it's like, okay, I'm looking for this, and according to this information, that thing would have this quality and this quality, and I have these things. So what has the right traits and quality to be this? If that sounds interesting and intriguing to you, check it out. I had fun with it, and I'm not sure I want to say it's better than Strange Horticulture. Like I said, it is more complicated. It is, it's kind of the difference between, doing a 800-piece puzzle and a 1,000-piece puzzle. One is not necessarily innately easier, but one is just more complicated and a little bit more intricate. But you'll probably get a good sense of satisfaction either way. But yeah, Strange Antiquities. I liked it. Good game. Did you play it? What did you think about it? Whatever your thoughts are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Patreon pays the bills and enables me to do this as my living, even if you can't help me out that way. Like, share, subscribe, all help me out. Don't worry too much about it, though. Take a relaxed attitude around here, so you can just come on back next time you need a break. Now to thank my highest supporting patrons: Robin Moore, Jared Boyce, Zubin Lafula, Auntie Kate 808, Mira G, Angry Casperl, Dave Hall, Oliver B, Sean Miller, Welsh Wrestling Geeks, Melissa Pedersen, Becky Sparks, Ulrich, Twylord, Mystic Shadow, Tracy Scrabbit, Pal Barabajoggle, Sir Didymus is my favorite, and shoutouts to some random folks from the lower tiers. Thanks to Callum Ray, 3 Muppets in a Trench Coat, and Alex Fireheart. If you want to hear me thank you by name, you can check out the reward tiers on the Patreon. You guys were pretty good today. Thank you.